It's an old rival coming in, Charleston. It's one of the original teams. Now there's so many expansion teams, you can't keep track of them.
Yeah, no doubt. 25 years back, all the way to '93, I think. The first game we played. So they're doing very well right now. The good news for us is Williams will be out. That's 15 goals and a third of their goals. So they've been less effective with them, but certainly they're a very accomplished team. Most of the guys have been together now for 2 or 3 years. They're lethal on the counter-attack, very strong defensively, lethal on restarts, and unfortunately we've had a tough time with them over the last 2 years. So hopefully we can break out Saturday night and make amends for that.
With regard to what you just said about playing your backup keeper for the last 6 or 7 weeks, that's not going to happen anymore. But is that kind of indicative of your approach to the end of the season here, that you're trying to get ready for next year?
I think it's 2 points. One, I think, again, as with all the guys, a lot of players have been training week in, week out without opportunities. Mike Baldock was a good example. Hadn't been in the 18 for the first half of the season. Marcel Develis had trained exceptionally well and really had deserved an opportunity, not only for him, but for us to see if he could be the long-term goalkeeper we truly believe he can be. So yeah, it's disappointing, but again, on the other side for me, I need to make tough decisions like that to know that we're moving in the right direction.
But are you looking at the end of this year as the beginning of next year?
Absolutely right. I mean, right now we are looking to play guys we know are going to be here next year as much as possible and try and build a strong foundation and hopefully acquire 3 to 4 impact players to boost the foundation.
How tough is it to keep these guys motivated, knowing that this season's pretty much lost?
There doesn't seem to be any issues with the way we've been performing. I think we've seen that week in, week out, that we're really competing, really have a strong desire to improve. We certainly don't want to finish rock bottom in the standings. Our goal right now is to continue those strong performances, which, to be fair, I don't think it's a true reflection of where we really are in the standings, but we've got to turn those performances into results, and our job is to try and climb as high as possible in the standings for the remaining 8 or 9 games.
Yeah, you're not getting beat 4 or 5-0 or anything like that. It's a lot of late goals, it's a lot of 1-goal games. But at a certain point, especially in August, you're beating your head against the wall and you're bottom of the standings. Motivation, you say it's not a problem, but I have to ask you how you've done it.
Well, I would say that a lot of players are fighting for their future with the kickers and also fighting for their careers in professional soccer. Players who are on the teams at the bottom of the standings aren't necessarily going to be guys that are going to be recruited heavily in the off season. So there's a lot of players who have a lot of pride for the club and have a pride that they want to continue and grow their professional careers. And like I said, most of this group are young enough to improve considerably over the next 3 or 4 years, and that's what, together with myself, the individual, and the club, we want to see.
And is that something you tell them, or is that something that they already know?
Well, I'm saying it every day to the media. I'm saying it every day in practice. There's no question about it. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory that when you're on a team that's not being successful, then certainly changes are going to come. But also, we want to continue to improve, and I really truly believe we've been doing that over the last, I think, 5 or 6 games.
In so many ways, this has been a hugely successful season off the field, because you got that long-term lease. You have a media sponsor who I'm not going to mention because it's not us, and your attendance has been pretty darn good, right?
Yeah, no, everything's trending well for the club. The reality is we're in Division 2 now. There are some big-time franchises in USL. Several are pushing for Major League Soccer franchises. So the gap, certainly on the payroll, certainly on the resources, grows. But as I said, it was always going to be, the biggest challenge of our lives to make the playoffs. As I look at it, we're further away in the standings than I thought we would be. But when I reflect on it, we're probably 2 or 3 wins away from being right in the mix. And I've seen enough performances where it could have easily gone that way this season. So yeah, you do make your own luck, and you do want to try and create a situation where you're not relying on other people. But for me, it's certainly been a learning curve, but also a positive experience that we're dealing with something we've not dealt before, and hopefully that will make us much stronger, for next season.